Hello Divine Feminines, this is your reading now. This is actually a Queen of Heaven spread. I know it looks very different, but I got so many reversals, it's very strange. I've just done the Divine Masculine reading, so this is a bit of a continuation of that. 4 of the 9 cards in this spread, the tarot cards, they came out for the previous reading. So 4 of these cards turned up in the Divine Masculine reading. And because of that, and also because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these 9 cards came up reversed, I decided to do some clarification. So you've got a lot of extra advice here, courtesy of Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels. So let's deal with the tarot cards first. And we will start with where the Divine Feminine was. I'll just quickly explain what the cards mean, where she was, where she is right now, where she's going, advice, how she feels towards the union, what she wants to say to the Divine Masculine, challenge, what she's been doing well, and underlying energies. Strangely enough, this card came up for the Divine Masculine in exactly the same position, in exactly the same way, so it was also reversed, and it's very much here a case of the Divine Feminine thinking that she had everything, all her ducks lined up. She was sorted. Things were going to happen. Things were going to happen the way that she wanted. Things that were going to happen the way that she always knew they were going to happen. They were going to be great. And then, spanner in the works, everything sort of went tits up, excuse the French, and it almost seemed like everything was lost. And all the progress that you made, you've had to go back on it, and you're going backwards. You don't know where you are, you don't know where you stand, or what's going on, or what you can do. And in terms of the reading, it's very similar to the masculine as well. If this has happened, it's a final clearing. It's things coming up to the surface to leave, because they need to leave. So maybe something, an old pattern that you thought you got rid of a really long time ago, it's come up again and it's triggered you and it's bothered you in some way, shape or form. It will mean different things to different people, but it's things that you thought you'd left behind coming back up. It's things that you thought were going to happen, that were dead cert for happening, not happening. How are you going to deal with it? How you deal with it is your chance to progress. So that is that. It's very much life. It's just part of life. Life has happened in a certain way. It can either go really well, or it can go not so well, and it's always going to happen this way. This is just kind of the ebb and flow of life, of fortunes. Of I remember at one point I was interested in biorhythms. You know, biorhythms are like that it's like a kind of graph. If you can imagine my bed sheets looking like a graph, and there was this kind of line that would go up and down, and it was just your life energies were high and your life energies were low. Your life energies would go high and then they'd go low again. And it's just the rhythm of life. Good things will happen, bad things will happen. They'll keep happening, but how you react and respond to these things is what will show you how much growth you have achieved. Like so many successful entrepreneurs, they get where they become successful because of the way that they deal with adversity. So this is your chance to kind of prove your worth in many ways to yourself. So where is the Divine Feminine right now? So this card came up upside down. For some people it's the right way up though. So it's the 8 of Swords, and the lady she's got her blindfold on. And like I mentioned in the Divine Masculine reading for the 2 of Swords, this card came up for a Divine Masculine reading I just did for myself a few days ago, and it's very much a case of almost like a self-imposed refusal to see things with the outer eyes. And the reason it's upside down for most people is because the Divine Feminine knows that she's not trapped, and she knows that she shouldn't be looking to the external world for answers. So she's not bothered about what's going on in the external world, because inside she's actually very free. In her mind and in her other dimensional selves, she can go wherever she wants. So it's upside down because the illusion of being trapped in a situation is what's falling away for the divine feminine, especially those of us who have been doing our work. It's not a restriction anymore. These things that were seen as causing fear and being very restrictive, they're not. So in many ways she's very unbound. She's actually very free. For some people there is a lot of fear and they are feeling very bound. All they have to do is look within. They have to look within. They have to question everything. Seek. You have to seek. And if you want to be a seeker, you have to question everything. You have to ask questions. You have to find answers that have the right meaning for you. And when those things click into place and you actually see how everything fits together and how things are a reality experientially for you as well, that's when you're going to be able to let go of these fears, let go of these feelings of restriction, and let go of these boundaries that are hemming you in. So I'm going to talk about boundaries a little bit later as well, but things that are imposed on you, that you feel have been imposed on you, that's what you are going to find the ability to let go of. And that's something that's there for many divine feminines. It might not be very pleasant. It might actually feel like you have to deal with this out of complete necessity. But again, going back to this card as well, that's what life is about, and that's what evolving and succeeding and achieving what you want to do, what you set out to do, is all about. And look where you're going to go. You are going to be this Queen of Pentacles. So there were a lot of liquid things, not quite so solid emotional things that you've had to let go of, but what you're going to get instead is real physical results. This could do with, for some people, health issues. This could also be to do with physical successes, to do with union as well for many of you, and an increase in abundance, an increase in all spheres of life. I'm getting in your relationships, in your twin flame unions, in how you feel about yourself, and also spiritually, and how you advance. Lots of abundance and gains, the real start of it, and a real clarity of sense of direction and purpose as well. Really grounding. You're going to really get into contact with your, I don't want to say goddess energy, but you're going to start feeling quite regal and start quite powerful, and quite self-worth issues for some people are going to really improve as well. I'm getting. So take whatever is there for you, but essentially you're just going to grow, and things are going to start happening in the physical plane for you, and it's going to work out very well. This card again is making an appearance from the Divine Masculine reading, and this was actually what the Divine Masculine wanted to say to the Divine Feminine. So listen to that reading if you haven't already done so, please. And it's come as an advice for the Divine Feminine, so really do listen to what the Divine Masculine has to say. You can also ask for assistance from your Divine Masculine in the psychic realms, like in dreams and stuff, and also if you're intuitive yourself, you can ask for guidance from their higher self. Now, also look at how he's looking away. He's actually looking away from the union, strangely enough. He's actually looking back towards the side of the Divine Feminine. And that also is relevant, because this card in the Divine Masculine reading, what they were talking about was, it's to do with the connection between the mind and manifesting in the physical world. This is also like a crystal ball, so it's creating what you see. It's foretelling things, it's visualization, it's essentially creating plans, acting them out, making them a reality, manifestation. There's a lot of creativity in these two wands as well. And also it's to do with passing through a gateway. So this is signifying a gateway, and it's also to do with patience. So you have to set the intent, do the work that's required, and wait for things to happen, because you have the faith that they are going to happen. How does the divine feminine feel towards the union right now? And we got the Page of Pentacles reversed, which I thought was interesting, because with this, she doesn't want to keep, she's thinking about not giving anymore. She's been giving and giving and giving, and now it's reversed. So instead of looking this way to the divine masculine, this page is looking towards the divine feminine. So she's really thinking about how she can give to herself. Especially at this time, divine feminine, you're thinking about, you might not have really started to embody this whole, I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to give to myself. And I'm talking the next level, because I know many of you, and I'll say us, because I have been doing it as well, we have been doing it before. But there's a different level of subtlety, there's a different level of intensity and intent and purpose that's happening now, and you're thinking about ways to do that. I did pull a clarifier for this as well. I'm going to actually go into that later. I'll go into all of the clarifiers later, but the focus, you're thinking more and more and more about how to give to yourself and shift the focus onto yourself. And it's not about healing and you know, seeing yourself as a victim or any kind of damaged way, damaged light or damaged perspective here. It's honestly to do with building yourself up, and it's by pentacle by pentacle, penny by penny, brick by brick, building yourself up from this point, which is a point where you have the freedom to sort of do things. You've got a bit of a blank canvas if you're in this place of kind of freedom here, to creating this for yourself, creating this Queen of Pentacles lifestyle, way of being for yourself. So that's what the divine feminine is doing. What does she want to say to the divine masculine? And you've got the Empress reversed. You've got the Empress reversed. Again, the Empress turned up in the divine masculine reading. She turned up the right way round. And what does it mean when she came up reversed? Again, it's very similar to this energy. She's facing herself. She's reflecting to herself, and she's reflecting on herself. So in that, she's kind of seeing herself as the Empress as well. It's to do with boundaries. So instead of always being open to the divine masculine and focusing and obsessing over the divine masculine, the divine feminine is now turning the focus, seeing herself. She's seeing herself as the Empress. She's seeing herself as the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Wands is also here. So it's very much about the divine feminine becoming more and more powerful, realizing how powerful she actually is, how important she is in her own life. She's writing her own story, and she is taking center stage in her own life. That's a big thing right now for women all over the place, but especially divine feminine. So if you felt like you have recently been lost in this relationship, like you've lost yourself, you're really finding yourself in a very, very big, very positive and very possibility filled and very multifaceted way. So you're feeling and growing and manifesting your abilities on many different levels. Maybe at home, on the domestic front, at work, on the career front, at, you know, with your friends, with your family, in every single way. So this is very much about holistically being who you want to be and seeing yourself as the Empress. So that's the messages that I'm getting from that. So it's not that you're not being the Empress, you're actually being more of the Empress, with that card being upside down. That's what you want to, and you want the divine masculine to know that is something that you are making or wanting to make abundantly clear to them. Challenge. You've got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. This basically means two things. There is some people who haven't been doing enough work. Some people also haven't been doing work in the right way on themselves, taking shortcuts, getting a bit lazy, cutting some corners, or just not doing it at all, procrastinating. And other people, they're just being a little, if you have been doing the work, and you have been doing it with full faith and wholeheartedly and with enthusiasm, because the more of yourself that you put into your work, the more authentically you do it, the more the results you will find. So do ask yourself all those questions. Have you been doing that? Have you been doing your work with love? Have you been putting yourself into all of your work? Have you been being authentic? Ask yourselves that. And if you have, then ask. The other thing is a lack of patience. So some people haven't been very patient in waiting for things to happen, waiting for what they want to manifest. What they've been doing well, we've got Queen of Wands. She's a great manifester. She can be a little bit impatient though. So, but well done for doing it. Well done for actually energetically, many people have been feeling ascension symptoms of late. Many people have been feeling tired. Many people have been feeling disoriented. That was because there was a massive, massive influx of different energies coming in. For the most part, Divine Feminines, it was your job to receive those. You've done it really, really well. That's why you've got the Queen of Wands representing that. So the Divine Feminine has received, if you want to call them light codes or whatever, you've been receiving them. They've taken root, and they are going to grow and manifest and blossom in your being and in your energy and in the places where you are meant to have left your energy signature. So on the grid, basically, will be very, very energized. Well done, guys. And it's very positive energy. It's really, really sunny. It's really happy. It's really summery and full of life. Really good. And then the underlying energies that you've got, Divine Feminines, you've got this. This is another card that came up for the Divine Masculine. It's the Four of Cups. Some of you, generally, it's being very closed off. This is the Divine Masculine thinking about offering something to you. But this guy's got his legs crossed and his arms crossed. It's different from the way that the card showed up and presented itself in the masculine reading. This is very much more, this is almost meditative. It's meditative, and it's to do, this is the boundaries card. So was the Empress card as well, was to do with boundaries and really consolidating those boundaries in your mind. So consciously, that's what's happening right now. The Divine Feminine, that's why the focus is all on her at the moment and how free she actually is. It's realizing which are boundaries that society has imposed upon her, and which are the boundaries, and disregarding those ones, whatever that she doesn't want and she feels don't apply to her in her situation, and it's creating her own boundaries. So can you see that this Divine Masculine is thinking about giving one cup to this? I know it's a guy, but this is the Divine Feminine. But the Divine Feminine is looking at these 3 cups. She's like, don't come to me with this little offer. I actually want this. This is what I want. So, and that's interesting because underneath is the 3 of Cups, and this is a celebration. And the reason it's a celebration is because when everything aligns, the Divine Feminine will have these 3 cups that she wants, which is symbolizing the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine, and the Divine and God, the third energy. So that's really, really nice. And oh look, it's the King of Pentacles underneath that, just consolidating that's actually very true, and it's going to happen. So very, very lovely omens there. Thank you. And so this isn't a card of petulance. This isn't a card of stubbornness, really. This is just the Divine Feminine is thinking and stating what she wants and getting to grips. She's actually discovering her own boundaries right now and how she wants to write them, how she actually wants to draw her boundaries and write her story on her blank sheet of paper. So now let's go into the clarifying cards. I think I've done a pretty good job of actually explaining these cards without the clarifiers, but a little bit more, advice is not going to hurt. Page of Pentacles in reverse, how she feels towards the union. The advice for this is finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now, and what that means is you need to really concentrate on your work, your purpose, mission, and also your own your own material well-being. If you've neglected any of those things in the past, get them all in order. It's actually very important that you do get that aspect of your life in order. Don't rely on the divine masculine for any of those things. It's very important that you don't. Really throw yourself into work and be very conscious of that. Do everything that you can. If you are thinking about getting any advice on your finances, or if there are things that need to get done, like if there are anything that you need to get to your done yourselves in your to-do list, or you need to speak to an accountant, do that. And if you're thinking of moving as well, try and find a good deal on mortgages and stuff. So maybe that's a message for certain people. Concentrate on that, focus on that. It's really going to help. In terms of what divine feminine wants to say to the divine masculine with the Empress in reverse, we've got this: love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So just really set your own standards. I was listening to a lady who was actually a colour coach talk about how people that present themselves really well, it shows that they look after themselves, and it makes other people want to it makes other people want to look after them as well, basically. She was trying to say, if you value yourself, other people will value you. So you need to do that first. So that is essentially what they're trying to say. So sort out what you want and be that, and embody that, express it, and show it to everyone else as well. And you'll get more of it that way. So I hope that is clear. For this card, for what the challenges are, the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, we've got release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. What this actually means for the advice is release the old impressions that you had of the divine masculine, because they're not the same person. Keep an open mind. Believe that they could be different, they could be changed, and they could be, finally, they could be the evolved, and I'm seeing the angel, the evolved version of them. So that's something to bear in mind. What we got as a clarifier for this card here, for the 4 of Cups, is express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So for some people, they are being overly closed off to the divine masculine, and he's thinking about giving you something or making a gesture, reaching out, and he can't do it. He's feeling that he can't get there because, you know, it's all going up in a puff of smoke, because he can feel how closed your energy is. He feels rejected. He feels like you won't accept him. And the advice for that is express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. I'm not saying you have to do that. Remember, it's very important that you only do what really resonates with you and makes you feel that inner ding. So leave the rest. The underlying card, though, the underlying energy for message from the romance angels is, ta-da, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And this deck doesn't have twin flames in it, so this is actually the twin flame card. It's not the soulmate card. It is, but it's not. So that's that, divine feminines. Please, please, please look after yourselves. There is going to be a solar eclipse in a couple of days. It might be intense for some people. Just make sure that you have a really good week. And it's with Valentine's Day, it's my birthday coming up, Valentine's baby. It's a prime time to do all of these things. Just really, if you haven't listened to the Divine Masculine reading, listen to it, because there was a lot of advice for everyone in that. But really use that time to really tap into these royal, regal, beautiful energies and see yourself reflected in all of these archetypes. The Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Empress, that is you. So treat yourself like it and act like it. Act like them. It's really important that you do that. Act like the Empress, act like the Queen. You don't need to go and, you know, be like those people that are always going around telling everyone that they're a queen and they're classy and they're this, that and the other. You don't need to do that, because that's not classy or regal. But like, you can just do it, feel the feeling inside, and just go out and embody it. It will express itself. So just relax and let it come through. So that is my advice to you that wanted to come through. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for all of your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments, and of course your kind donations as well. Haven't forgot those. And yeah, lots of love, blessings, prayers being sent out to you, and have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye.